This is Beaverville. Come on in.
I just flew in. I'm recording an album. It's called Terry South Bitch Live.
I like the Alaskan Pipeline.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to video message number 29.
I woke up yesterday morning with a spring in my step.
Start later, please.
I could never know what the day was. Fast forward it.
Listen up, the ratings just came in for last month. We are #1. We just grabbed every key demographic. Super duper. That's nice. Way to go. Neato, gang.
Yes.
Boy, that is good news.
It is the 24th day of April 2026. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Power Trip Morning Show on a Friday. Here we go. We made it. And the first round of the NFL draft is in the books, and the Timberwolves won. What more do you need to know? Well, probably a lot more. We'll get to all that. We got special guests coming in. We got the initials game. We got so much to get to. So let's get her started, shall we? With some comedy. Great way to start a weekend. Great way to start the Friday morning. Here's Lowell Sanders and some comedy on the Power Trip. Come on in. I am glad you are here.
Michael Jackson, man. Michael's the only singer that could hiccup on a record and people still buy it. That had to be a mistake because don't nobody hiccup while they singing. Michael could. Gonna make a change. For once in my life. He made up words that aren't even in the dictionary. Words like chamon. Chamon is not a word. How many people ever use the word chamon? Try it tonight. Ask somebody, say, chamon back to my house after the show. Police pull you over one night, be like, chamon, officer, you sure I was speeding? Chamon. Nobody could do that like Michael could. Michael could do that. Chamon. I'd hate to play Scrabble with Mike. You know he win. Mike ain't no word spelled C-H-U-M-O-N. Yet he did. Chamon, sure.
Is this a joke?
The finish line is waiting. Fate is on your side.
Yes.
You hear the distant thunder. There's lightning in your stride. For the warriors. Never giving up the lead. To take it to the top.
Power Trip Morning Show, Friday, April 24th of 2026. Caleb Banks is a Minnesota Viking. Remember we talked about that yesterday a little bit. Remember that?
Yeah.
You read between the lines yesterday. Talked about that a little bit. Caleb Banks.
Yeah, the voice of the Vikings started talking about it on Monday.
Is that right?
And, yeah, here we are now, man. Yep.
There's Chris, there's Sauce, I'm Corey, there's Zach. Mr. Z in a little bit. No Creasel today, but Marnie later. Daniel and Taylor from Love is Blind later.
Hell yeah.
Tommy's so pumped.
Is he calling in?
He might. He just might.
Man, good for him. Yeah, man. It's going to be sweet. I thought, I like the pick from last night. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, wow, I didn't even think of that, even though PA mentioned it a bunch. And then I looked more at it. Have you guys, and I'm sure you have, Hogs, because you were texting me about it last night.
Of course.
Have you seen his highlights from 2024? He's a machine,
That's
man.
all I watched all night. I haven't been to bed yet.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I was doing my analyses.
What were your thoughts on it?
He's big, dude.
Yep.
Great launch.
Yep.
Big first step.
Yep.
Giant set of nuts.
Probably, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm telling you my analyses.
Oh, yeah.
He read into it.
I read into it. I spent the night.
He did some research.
I love it. I think it's great. You didn't have an inkling? Because you said you weren't big on Thieneman. So I was like, well, maybe Saucy had somebody telling him, now you're wrong. That ain't the way we're going.
Well, I think the thing that I have learned over the past, I don't know, 15 years, whenever you hear something brought up by PA, it's got to be good. And when he kind of poo-pooed the Dylan Thieneman bit, but like took him in our mock draft and then spent the rest of the time not talking about Dylan Thieneman.
Said Thieneman with a smile and said, for the purposes of this, I'll take Dylan Thieneman.
Right.
Didn't seem very confident that that was the pick.
Was Caleb Banks still on our draft board?
100%.
Okay,
yeah. And then he mentioned a bunch of times how like you have to trust the medical staffs of this thing. And, which was another indication that he was pointed in the Caleb Banks bit. And
he referenced that Dylan Thieneman is the safe pick when you might want to swing for a home run pick.
Yeah.
That's exactly what this is. It's a huge swing. And that's why it's getting, honestly, universally panned. It's getting destroyed, saying they reached too many injuries.
I mean,
he's a huge dude with too many foot problems. Like, it's just not worth it. You could have gotten him way later. All that kind of stuff. This is why I like riverboat gamblers, though. Right? Is if you pick a guy like Caleb Banks and he absolutely flames out with injury problems, then everybody reaches up and goes, I told you so.
Yeah.
And you say, you're fired or you're gone. But if he's a 7-time Pro Bowler, it's a genius gamble. So they pushed all their chips in the middle and said, we trust the medical staff. We think this is going to hold up.
You know what?
But the fans are not happy.
What I'm really happy about this morning, and this sounds terrible, but it's the truth. Thank God Kwesi got fired. Because if he had made this choice last night, the world would have ended.
Oh, yeah. Ryan Donaldson might have driven to TCO.
Completely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
People would have been like, there he goes again.
Yep.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Well, Kwesi arguably would have traded up for Caleb Banks.
Yeah. Yep.
And given up the rest of our draft.
We traded our number 1 draft pick for 9 7th-round picks.
Yeah, that's something. Yeah.
But don't you think this, people are panning it right now. The world would have gone nuts. Vikings land would have gone crazy if Kwesi had made this pick.
Oh, nuts. Yeah. There would be, people would be furious
Where did Kwesi go work?
San Francisco, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
That is correct.
Okay.
So if you look at the people who are analyzing this pick that actually watched Florida football and actually know the history of Caleb Banks, everyone says, when healthy, this is a top 5 to 10 talent. Mm-hmm. He's a machine, like Sauce just said. He's got all the moves, all the strength, all the athleticism, right? Freak athlete for a guy that's 6'6", 327. That's a huge bitch.
Yes. ...
But he breaks the same foot every 6 weeks.
Yep.
He only played in 3 games last year. Can't stay healthy. The guy's gigantic. He's going to have constant foot problems. What are we doing? So... it's a gamble.
The Bleacher Report gave it an F. Said he was
places.
The 60th ranked player on our board. Mm-hmm. Even like the video that the Vikings posted, you hear Daniel Jeremiah in the background go, wow. And then Rich Eisen, being the host and being good at what he does, goes, explain that, please. And he said, he was my 51st ranked player on the board.
Because of injury
concerns. And as you just said, Cor, everything is, if he's great, it works. If it does work and he has no more injuries, it's going to be, he could be a dominant football player. If like you said, if he played all last season and didn't just play 3 games and didn't have these foot concerns, I mean, you could argue he might be a top 5 pick. That's how good he is. I was also informed last night from a outstanding source that the Carolina Panthers were going to take him at 19. So you take that with whatever you want.
And that's the only thing I will completely defend the Vikings on is when it's like, well, we could have got him in the 40s or 50s or 60s. None of us know that, right? Because mock drafts are not reality. And like you said, what if 2 or 3 or 4 teams in the next 5 or 6 picks were all over him? So you couldn't trade back 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 and get him. And also, like, you have to find a partner, right? Maybe nobody else wants to come up to 18 to get anybody, let alone give you an opportunity to trade back. It's just not that easy. But yeah, the whole, we reached. Maybe you didn't, but you still gambled. Even if you could have theoretically moved back 5 spots, the gamble would have been the same. Sure, you would have squeaked out, maybe you grab a 3rd round in exchange to slide back. If you still were going to take Caleb Banks 5 picks later, The injury gamble is exactly the same.
Well said, Corey. Yeah.
So it either works or it doesn't.
Yeah.
And how about Thieneman stays in the division? So if you were wrong on Thieneman, much like when the Kwesi, Wheeling, and Dealin gave Jamison Williams to the Lions, and we moved back and swung and missed on Lewis Seen, and Jamison Williams is legit when he's healthy and not gambling. Now it's like, all right, you passed on Dylan Thieneman. We need a safety. If this injury concern bites us in the ass and Thieneman's the next, big time safety, he's in Chicago for the next decade plus. Great.
Yeah, that's
better be right.
He could have gone anywhere, but a division team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's also interesting because now with pick 49, 82, and 97,
only if she's 5'3",
there are a lot of players that are down in that, like Colton Hood, I thought would be a first round pick. I mean, I don't think there's any chance that they would then come back if he's there at 49. Take then the Gerard McCoy, the Tennessee, because then your first two picks have major injury concerns. I don't know if you'd do that, but there's a ton of talent now that the Vikings could get at 49. The Stooks guy, the Arizona safety / cornerback, would probably be there at 49. So tonight's going to be fun as well because they have some needs to fill. They have 3 picks tonight, which will be outstanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Did you hear that their number one focus for round 2 is Kenny McCormick?
Oh, really?
He has some significant injury concerns. That guy honestly always gets hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's sad.
Always.
Yeah. Wile E. Coyotes on their draft board.
Yep.
Yeah.
John Creasel.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Lieutenant Dan.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. They think medically he's cleared.
Yeah.
Well, really?
Yeah, they think it's going to hold up. They think he's going to be just fine.
They're going to try to draft both the Wet Bandits in the 3rd round.
Not a bad combo. That's not bad. That would be a good pick.
That's all the often injured people that Google came up with for me.
Brilliant.
I guess those guys get injured a lot. But they do fight through it.
They fight through it, though.
They don't stop robbing.
No, I mean, Daniel Stern in the second one gets electrocuted, and he just kind of brushes it off. And
I will still say the worst injury of them all is dude getting his head burned.
Yeah.
You don't live through that.
Well, I mean, he didn't move.
He stood there and
he just stood there and screamed, which is just not a human response.
He just stood there and took it.
Yeah, that movie is just so unbelievably unrealistic. It really pissed me off. A+. You guys know what's going to happen, right?
We're going to do the radio show?
No. I mean in the future.
AI is going to take over?
That too, but I was talking football.
Oh, I'm so
They're
sorry.
They're going to fire more people?
Probably. Oh, no, you mean here? No, I mean football for the Vikings.
He's probably going to he's going to go into camp, and he's going to be looking great, and then he'll break every toe on his left foot.
100%. That's what I was going to say.
Yep.
He's going to have a dominant camp. He might even, when he plays in the preseason, might have a game or two where like, holy crap.
Yeah.
And then maybe like walk into the grocery store, he's going to break his foot and he's going to be out for the year.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's going to come in here to play the initials, and Marnie's going to high five him and break every bone in his foot.
In his foot,
Yeah.
right.
He's gonna be like, how did you
It'll
break
reverberate through his entire skeletal
Right.
system and shatter his toes.
Shadoobie.
Yeah. I think he said the injury that he got at the combine was, quote, a freak accident.
Well, stop freaking out.
Yeah, man.
His dad, Adam, was a hell of an athlete like 30 years ago, too.
Yeah,
by the
his
way.
dad was good.
Yeah, I like Joseph A.
Yeah.
Great.
Paul, you
uncle.
do one.
Wasn't his, like, great-great-grandpa president? Or wait, no, that's John Adams. Never mind.
Dear God, what just happened?
Who's Adams?
Did you just break your foot?
I think so. I think I broke my brain.
Where did Adams come from?
I don't know.
Why
Yeah,
did
his
you
name's
think,
Banks.
Did you
We were
think his
doing-
name was Adams
no,
for a
but
moment?
yeah,
I did
but then
Adam
you said-
Banks.
yeah,
he did
that-
Joseph
that-
A. Banks.
Okay, thank you.
That threw me off. The Adams thing. When you said Adam Bank threw me off.
Yeah, from Mighty Ducks.
No, I'm well aware
Then
who
how
it
did you
is.
get to President John Adams?
I don't know.
We're doing bank jokes, and they're amazing.
Here's the other one.
Joseph A. was, I mean, I thought right on the nose.
That
I mean,
was
there are
good.
people in their car that are upside down in the ditch and not upset about it because they laughed so hard
Right.
that they feel like it was worth
They
it.
Tiger Woods their SUV. They were gut laughing so much.
My great uncle pissed all over himself.
Yeah, well, classic hockey.
Had nothing to do with the show, by the way.
Oh,
Just wanted you to know.
Poor buddy.
Well, he's old.
Well, what about
his uncle's sperm?
Yeah.
What about his
You do one.
brother Huntington?
Okay.
That's a terrible name.
That's okay.
I mean,
It's not
at least it fits.
How about those Timberwolves?
Wow.
I watched every second of it after Caleb Banks got drafted. And by the time I flipped on the old TV, I think the Wolves were up 20-9 when I started watching. Monster start, and it was absolute domination the rest of the way.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about it, it wasn't Ant, it wasn't Randall, it was
Rudy,
Jaden McDaniels, Io DeSumo, Dante DiVincenzo, and Rudy. Those four stole the show.
DeSumo?
You can say it either way.
Okay.
Arrivederci.
Yeah. The sumo wrestler.
Yep.
Yep. You do one.
DeSumo tires.
DeSumo tires?
Yeah.
Is there a brand
What does
that
that
I'm
mean?
unaware of?
Yeah, isn't there like a brand like?
Maybe.
Yeah. They used to sing about Birdman. Used to sing about it.
Do you sue more if you fall off your roof?
Michael
No, 'cause I'm-
Keaton's used to sing about the sumo tires.
Yep, you are correct. Brilliant.
Did you have a stroke last night?
No.
You're on the injury report.
Would you like
I
to have
fell
a
asleep
stroke
at
right
like
now?
1:30.
Yeah, can we have the Vikings medical doctors clear you?
Yeah, could we break your toes off your body?
Sure. No, I do not fall off a ladder because I have gutter helmet from my friends at gutterhelmetmn.com, and I don't need to worry about my gutters getting filled up. Never clean your gutters again. Gutterhelmetmn.com.
You know what happens
Make
if
sure.
if you fall off your roof? You know what happens once in a while? You break your foot.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That's a freak accident.
Yep. Unless you've had it happen like 7 times in the past. Then it's
Yeah.
just like what you are.
President Adams?
President Adams.
I'm not smart.
Duh.
Well,
Caleb Banks. All right, they gambled.
we got a new
Fans hate it.
Viking. We got a Timberwolves Giant win, but I've got a story that tops them all
Oh, no.
when we come back. And it's not dirty this time.
Unbelievable. All right, Power Trip Morning
Revenge
Show.
of the Elephants.
After this on The Fan.
Welcome back. Power Trip Morning Show. New home to your newest Viking.
Let's hope it works. I mean, all of us that are skeptical, and again, I don't know anything about Caleb Banks, and I haven't looked at his medical history. I don't know what they cleared. They say it's good to go. They think it's going to work. I had never heard that name until like 2 days ago, and I've never seen him play. I saw the highlights last night. He looked like a beast. Let's hope it works.
It will.
But man, the general consensus is that this was a, quote, gamble. But if any show should stand behind a gambler, it's this one.
You know it.
Yeah.
Let's gamble.
For their part, like Brzezinski didn't sound like he thought it was a gamble at all.
No.
None of this you can just look at in a vacuum. So as we're analyzing Caleb and we're stacking our board, we just stack the board based on the way we see the talent. And you're analyzing everything and including everything. And we just felt really comfortable where he was on our board. And the board fell, and he was the best player on the board. And we took him. It was pretty easy.
You know, he's right, because you look at it in a vacuum. I looked in my vacuum. All I saw were cat hair and fingernail clippings.
Yeah, and a few other things.
No, that's all I found.
Human fingernail clippings?
Good question. I can't confirm.
Just curious.
I'm not sure, because I know I don't trim my fingernails.
Yeah.
Right, you do like the rest of us. We just chew them off
You damn
and eat
right,
them.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct.
So, do you ever chew your own nails and then eat them?
No, not my. No,
Not
not my
his nails.
No,
No,
Eats
he
not
his
my nails.
boogies.
eats his own boogers. That's
He
why I
does
wanted
eat
to
his
know
Not
if you.
anymore.
No, not anymore.
anymore.
It's been weeks, but still, I just wondered if you
Good days.
were a fingernail eater as well.
I mean, no.
Have you ever swallowed a fingernail or a toenail?
Maybe on accident, but
How do you do that on accident?
You ever?
don't know.
Was it yours?
I mean, that is a tale as old as time.
Would you chew the foot of Caleb Banks and eat his toenails if it guaranteed his long-term health?
Yes.
Guaranteed it. He never would have a foot problem again if you just ate a couple of his toenails.
Like, were they picked were they off his feet? Or
Yeah, they're clipped. They're clipped. No. But they're immediately clipped and then fed to you by a lovely maiden.
If it meant he was at full health for his whole career?
Whole career.
Yeah, because that would benefit all of us.
It's got to be 10. So it's 1 from each toe.
Man, that's a lot. Can I eat them all at one time?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, if you want to.
Can
you
I
put a little milk
chase
in
them with something?
Sure.
Chase them with like your dogs.
It has to be after they've been swallowed. So you can't like wash them down with Mountain Dew. You got to eat them, swallow them, and then if you want to have something else immediately afterwards, that's fine. Yes
I mean,
or no?
if Mel's in, I'm in, yeah.
Mel Kiper or Mel Gibson?
Both. Well, Mel Kiper was not in on this.
No one
He
was.
savaged it.
Everybody
Did he
savaged
really?
it.
Yes,
Oh,
he
yeah.
savaged it,
Yep.
yeah.
Everybody
And
said
they're
it's a gamble.
Because they think they could have gotten him in the second round or something, right?
Well, I think...
And maybe they don't know, right?
I mean, as I was told, there was a team behind them, either trading up or it was Carolina. I don't have specifics that would have taken him. I think if Lieber brought up, I think it was this week on Monday, maybe you move back from 18 to 28. I don't think he's still there because when you look, if you watch his 2024 highlights, he's dominant. He's a great first step. He's the biggest need the Vikings have as defensive tackle. I wouldn't even be shocked if they took one again at pick 49. If Texas Tech's Lee Hunter is available, I wouldn't be shocked if they took one at 49.
Oh, like President Hunter.
Yeah, like President Hunter, yes.
Which
correct.
leads me to my
wait.
story.
No, that's
it was
wrong.
John Adams.
Oh, yeah, your story.
Never mind.
My story. I have a story for
John Adams, what an idiot.
I have a story. Art thou ready?
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me take you to Africa.
Thanks,
And the
Toto.
story of a millionaire U.S. big game hunter. I said game.
Oh.
Phone's ringing. Tommy, call back in an hour and a half.
75-year-old man, millionaire, U.S. big game hunter. Owns vineyards in California. His name's Ernie Dacio. He's 75.
Dacio.
Vast collection of exotic animal heads in his trophy room, which I can see in this picture. He was being guided through the Gabon African game forest by a professional hunter whom he had paid 30,000 francs, which I looked it up, is
A lot of hot dogs.
40,000 United States dollars. He'd paid this big game hunter $40,000 to guide him through the Gabon. Ladies and gentlemen, they were on the lookout for an animal by the name of a dwarf something or other. A diker. That's what it's called. I didn't make it up.
What kind of animal is that?
I don't know.
Never even heard of that.
Duiker. Or a dwarf forest buffalo. He was looking for little things. Instead, he found accidentally.
Oh, yeah, okay. That's a weird looking animal.
Yeah, what is that? It's an antelope.
Yeah.
Instead,
Cool looking.
he and his professional hunter stumbled upon not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 mommy elephants and a baby elephant.
That's a huge bitch.
And those 5 elephants said, "Are you messing with our baby?" And before they could answer, they stomped him to death.
Both of them?
The big game professional hunter guy got away with injuries, but it was only described as this. Well, it says, I want to read it right because it's a great line. I would rather not go into detail, but it's safe to assume his death was quick. They stomped his ass. And I am not in favor of the death of a lot of people. And, you know, he had the legal right to go over there and kill big game. But those elephants didn't like it. And there is a picture as you scroll down in the story of him laying beside an elephant that he had killed at one point. And I think that 2 things. He paid the professional hunter $40,000 to lead him into the forest. The elephants paid $45,000.
Brilliant.
They were on the lookout for a vineyard owner. Number 1. And number 2, you should see how great the mounting that these elephants had done and put in their cave of that old 75-year-old vineyard owner. He looks lifelike.
Yeah, good for him.
He looks like a very thin version of a hunter.
He also, they wanted to catch his final moment. So he also looks a little bit like a sex doll because he seems to be extremely surprised that he's about to get stomped.
Yeah.
We mentioned this a couple of days ago that, quote, legendary Spanish matador that was anally gored.
Yeah.
Suffered immense pain. And we said basically hats off to the bull, right?
How is Al Gore's aunt?
He's fine.
Yeah.
She's fine.
Anally gored.
The matador survived, right? Unlike elephant stomp guy.
Yeah.
I've never heard this phrase ever, but apparently this is the thing.
Yeah.
That matador got sphincter reconstruction.
Oh.
There was somebody online that said, when you wake up in the morning, you never think you're going to get, rectally gored by a horn.
Yeah.
And the comeback was, you do if you're a matador.
Right.
Yes.
It's the most likely profession to get rectally or anally gored almost to death.
Completely.
Like, today, is it possible, calm down, is it possible that I have that happen? Is it 0%?
It's not 0%.
It's not 0%. Is a sports talk show host in Minneapolis anywhere near the top of that list?
No.
I would argue it's close to the bottom.
No.
Probably.
Close to the bottom. What's number one? Matador.
Matador, yeah.
Number one with a bullet.
Yeah.
Getting stomped to death by 5 random elephants. Also, almost 0.
Yeah.
For me today. So close. It's not 0.
Almost.
So close to 0 that the chance that I get stomped to death by an elephant today is almost 0. Not if you're just wandering around, parts of Africa looking to shoot stuff.
Bless
That's the
rain.
most like, right.
Yeah, if you're
blessing rain.
Well said, Hawk.
Thank you.
Man, it's too bad this guy wasn't anally gored and then stomped to death. Am I the only one that was cheering for that?
Well,
Well,
I don't normally cheer for deaths, but I will say this, sadly. One of the elephant broke their foot.
oh no.
And you know what that elephant's name was? Joseph L. Banks.
Yeah. I think he's going to go 49th tonight.
One of the elephants that stomped this vineyard owner to death, you know what his name was?
What?
John Adams.
I knew it. How did I know it was going to be Johnny Adams? Johnny Adams seed.
Not President John Adams, elephant John Adams.
Yeah.
I'm not
Actually,
smart.
I think his name was Taft.
John Taft?
Yeah. He was an elephant.
The guy that did the NBA theme song from
right.
Round Ball Rock?
That's
Great
right.
song.
But,
We all stayed up too late last night.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
We all did.
and you know what's crazy is I knew the Wolves were going to win. Why did I stay up and watch it?
Yeah.
Although, if anybody's listening that was up at the end of the game,
Hey?
when the Nuggets took their starters out, but then the backups for a second cut it to like 12, am I the only one that was like 3.5 minutes ago going, are we going to piss this game away? Like, at what point do the Nuggets starters go back in there? For just a second, it looked like Chris Finch and the Vikings, Chris Finch and the Wolves thought, oh, this game's over.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yes,
they're
they
only
did.
down 12 or 13, and there's 4 minutes to go.
Well-
sure, Murray and Joker on the bench. The Nuggets have waved the white flag, but the reserves aren't. They're jacking up threes and hitting them.
In
Correct.
a strange
Dicey.
circumstance, Wembanyama was anally gored.
What?
Wasn't 0.
How?
It wasn't 0.
I know. He wasn't as low on the list as you were,
No.
but still doesn't play for either team, does he?
Man, tough. No, he doesn't.
Okay, sorry
You're
about
thinking
that.
of the Joker.
By the way, check this out. I just Googled this. The Matador headlines.
Yeah.
Spain's, quote, greatest Matador was gored by a bull in comeback from retirement.
Yeah.
Talk about the all-time regret. Is this dude was retired.
Yeah.
Considered maybe one of the greatest Matadors of all time.
Yeah.
Legendary
Yeah.
Spanish Matador. I think I'm going to come out of retirement. Really? Can't hang it up. Well, best of luck, buddy. Anally gored.
That poor bung teaser.
And the guy's name was Larry Adore.
Oh, come on. Was it?
Yeah. Had a great uncle named Matt.
You guys want to know what the Spanish Matador's name actually was, or don't you care? Because his name's kind of funny.
Yeah, of course.
Please.
Calvin Coolidge.
I get it.
Front page sports.
That's your name, isn't it?
I didn't do it right? How does that work?
That's your name, isn't it?
Front page sports when we come back. This is the Power Trip Morning Show on The Fan.
The Fan.
You ready to hear it, baby? All right.
Does that go here? Zach's here, right?
Is his mic not on?
No, it's on.
Oh, is he back there?
Is he dead? Did he die? Did he pass on?
I don't know. I know I know things are falling apart in here.
I know he was getting anally gored.
Yeah.
Oh, what? Well, that doesn't stop him from giving the weather, though.
You know, that Tipper, she's something else.
What a name. What was her actual name?
Tippin' Canoe.
Like, that wasn't her birth name, right? Tipper Gore?
I think
It's got to be a nickname. That can't be her birth name, right?
Her real name is just a Tipper.
Mary Elizabeth Gore.
Yeah.
Known as Tipper.
Yeah, that's a real rich person's nickname, isn't it?
Tipper?
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah, it sounds like a country club name. Paul, your hands up. 100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, no, I certainly would.
Yeah.
I would guess she is a danger on the dais and a wicked witch in the bedroom.
Wow.
Know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't know what I'm saying.
Why don't you know what he's saying?
I know what he's saying.
Understand my sayings?
I know what you're saying, man.
In August of last year, multimillionaire U.S. big game hunter Asher Watkins was brutally gored to death by a buffalo at a casino, which is the strangest thing because he thought he'd hit a giant jackpot because somebody was saying, "Buffalo!" And he turned around and said, "Yes!" Right as he was gored in the anus.
Oh, no.
By a buffalo. The Cape buffalo, known to hunters as Black Death, charged him from a blind spot at 55 mile per hour and impaled him with his horn.
But not at the casino.
Sure.
Oh, this is at the casino.
Yeah.
So, like, when he won the jackpot and the casino person came over and paid him.
Yeah.
Did he tip her? God, I got back there.
You
Well
did.
played. Well played.
Tipper Gore.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know who's not named Tipper? Rosie.
Jesus. Arrivederci, Bill.
Time now for Front Page Sports, presented by Holiday Station Stores.
Do you remember when he tried to give me the nickname Tipper? Rosie did, because he said I wouldn't stop saying it.
Yeah.
Because I'd be like, Tipper. He's like, no. I'd be like, Tipper.
Yeah.
No.
I know. You were like, she just rubbed your body down for 3 hours.
Yep.
Oh.
And I would be like, Tipper. And he's like, why do you keep saying that? That's your new nickname. I'm like, that's not going to stick, buddy.
That's not going to work, buddy.
Front Page Sports brought to you by our friends at Holiday Station Stores. Buy 3 monsters for just $8 for a limited time. Mix and match any flavors you want with our friends at Holiday. You know, go get some energy. Monster Energy. You can get some donuts, too. They got good donuts. They got good cookies there in the morning.
Oh,
They got breakfast options all over the place. And then get some Monster Energy at Holiday. All right, we talked a lot about Caleb Banks. We'll get a lot more information on him as the show goes on. And obviously, the fan has you covered all day with draft coverage.
Yeah, man.
But right after the Vikes picked at 18, a lot of us flipped over to the old Wolves game. They had already built an early first quarter lead, and it got better. Not only did we dominate all 4 quarters, they did a couple of things against an unbelievable offensive team, the Denver Nuggets. One of the best offensive teams in the NBA. Held Denver to 11 points in the first quarter. I believe that's the fewest points the Wolves have ever allowed in a postseason quarter.
I think you are correct.
That's what SI.com said. And held Denver to a season low 34% from the field. All season long, the Nuggets had not shot that poorly. Now, you could say, well, they missed shots. Yeah, almost always, though, that's because you're playing good defense. It's not like they're missing wide open shots. They missed a couple of wide open shots, but they also had contested shots, and I freaking love playoff Jaden.
Oh, he's so good.
When he basically picks up, like, Jamal Murray just behind half court and says, like, good luck, buddy.
Good luck.
And sometimes he gets kind of like lazy, cheap fouls, but more often than not, he just annoys the hell out of people like Murray.
Yeah.
And mostly shuts him down. He played awesome defense. Io was unbelievable. And Rudy just frustrates the crap out of Joker.
Yep.
Man, speaking of gambling, right? The Rudy gamble paid off.
Yeah.
Think of how badly that was ripped at the time. No, again,
Well
I could give you 50 examples of gambles that we ripped at the time, and they were just as bad as we thought.
Yeah.
So we don't want to do just revisionist history or, result-oriented discussions here. This Caleb Banks pick is a gamble. Rudy was a gamble. I thought it was worth the gamble at the time. It paid off.
Yeah.
I don't know if this one's worth a gamble at the time because I don't know anything about Caleb Banks.
You know what
We'll
was
see.
a gamble? Mooning that buffalo.
Yeah. The Black Death, isn't that what they called it?
Yep, that's right.
Hawk, you were all for the Rudy trade, right?
Completely.
Yeah.
I know he's got a bad foot, but
No, that's the other guy.
okay.
Jaden had 20 points. Again, insane defense. Io had 25, and most of those were layups.
Yeah.
Because he just is a machine. He drives to the hoop. Denver, apparently, Jaden McDaniels is right. Denver can't stop anybody.
No, they could not.
So, man, when the Wolves were going downhill last night, the Denver Nuggets did almost nothing to stop them. No Aaron Gordon, though, for Denver. That was huge. Got a calf injury.
Oh.
We don't have to apologize for that, though.
No.
The Wolves at one point led by 27 points. It looks like they have Denver's number. Let's hope that's the case when Game 4 is tomorrow, 7:30 in Minneapolis. Game 5 in Denver, Monday at 9:30. That sucks. Rudy on the Joker said, quote, he's the greatest offensive player I've guarded in my whole career, just trying to enjoy the challenge.
Well said, Rudy.
And
Very well said.
Kicking ass.
Yeah.
303-405-1100.
Hang on, let's figure this out. Say that again.
303
Yep.
405 1100.
Why? Okay.
I don't get it.
I don't either.
I have Denver's numbers.
Oh, that's Denver's number.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
You said they had Denver's number.
Oh,
303.
That's right.
Is that the number to like Denver
That's the
City
main
Hall?
office
That's
of
the main office.
of the Denver Nuggets.
Oh,
Balls Arena.
Yeah.
that's brilliant.
Yeah, that's my underwear.
Oh. Yep. That's Zach's car.
No, mine's Ball Center.
It's like a lot of us said when this series started.
A lot of us said this, Corey.
Mainly me.
Oh,
People
God.
get pissed
Are
'cause
you-
we say it all
Are
the
you
time.
paraphrasing me again?
No, I'm paraphrasing me.
Oh, thank God.
This team is built to beat Denver.
In what way?
Well, the Rudy bit, the Jaden McDaniels, all those, they were put together because at the time when the GM came over here from Denver, he put this team together because at that point, I think they'd won a championship. They were the best team in the West. They were built to beat Denver with height and athleticism. And that's exactly what they have. And they had it when they had Carl and Rudy, but now they have, Rudy and Jaden, and they just torment that team. If they don't win this series, it's a damn shame. Because everybody thought maybe they'd come out a little flat last night after all the trash talking
They
they'd
got
done.
run over by elephants.
Yeah. Oh, are they okay? And but yeah, they showed up. The crowd was into it, and they dominated that team from start to finish.
All right, Game 5 tomorrow, 7:30 in Minneapolis. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
The Vikings took Caleb Banks with pick 18 in the first round. He only played 3 games in 2025. He just broke his foot in like March. I think was it the Senior Bowl? Something like that. So it was something like a month and a half ago, broke his foot. Now, again, the doctors say he's going to be up and running way before the season. But still, he's had multiple injuries to this exact foot. I believe he has broken his foot multiple times. So he's 6'6". He is 327.
That's a huge bitch.
And when I heard him talking about him last night, they were saying like he used to be a wide receiver. He was a tight end.
Yeah,
like
Pete said that.
when he was younger and thinner, he was super athletic. So now that he's 6'6", 327, still has that explosiveness. And again, if you watch his highlights, and I hadn't until yesterday, he does look like he's kind of freakish when he's healthy. But
yeah.
Again, I just think this is the only take to have is they gambled on his health. Now, obviously, they are doctors. They know what they're looking for. That doesn't mean they're going to be right long term because things happen. Right? You're still gambling.
All our guy yesterday, PA, when he sat down in this chair and started talking about who the Vikings were going to take at 18, he mentioned multiple time home run picks. And if you're going to hit home run, you got to swing. And this is exactly that. They could have taken Mekhi Lemon. They could have taken Dylan Thieneman, they would have been safer picks. Maybe those guys will end up being really good players. But if this works out, they took one of the best talent players at one of their biggest needs.
So I think, the question that I asked PA yesterday about, well, if you're talking safe pick versus home run pick, and you have an interim GM that we don't know whether or not he has a good chance, great chance, or bad chance of being the GM. We don't know if Rob Brzezinski is going to be the guy or not, right? Is he the kind of guy that's more likely to gamble or not? Because what does he have to lose?
Nothing.
And his point, PA's come back to that, was basically, well, this has always been and is still a collaborative effort that KOC has some say. My guess is on a pick like this, Flores has a giant voice saying, I could use a kid like this. So I don't know if this necessarily it makes or breaks anything for Rob Brzezinski. And like I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, they're going to find a GM before this kid ever hits the field. So it's not like Rob's either going to be validated or be proven wrong. They're going to either give him the job or not give him the job way before we know Caleb Banks is a bust or a Hall of Famer, right? That has nothing to do with whether or not they're going to give Rob the job. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good point.
Unless he breaks his foot today.
Man.
Right? If they're like, let's say the rest of the draft goes pretty well for the Vikings on paper. They kind of get the guys that they were targeting. And on Monday, the Vikings are like, that was kind of smooth. That went really well. We should give Rob the job. And then he gets a phone call. And it's like, well, Caleb was walking down some stairs today. Didn't even trip. Just stepped on a step and shattered his foot like Mike TV in a million pieces. And he's out for the rest of his career.
You ever stub your toe so hard you want to die?
Yes. 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 Stubbing your toe is the worst.
That's top 5.
I have a handful of bar stools downstairs in my basement.
Dave Portnoy's down there?
No, not Barstool Sports, just actual bar stools.
Big Cat?
And you know how often I accidentally kick those steel sons of bitches when I don't have shoes on?
Don't you just want to kill everybody?
Yeah. And of course, it's my 62-degree basement. Guess who was down there with me?
Nobody.
Nobody.
No one is.
So I just look around and I'm just MFing myself like, God, you stupid F.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
If that's Caleb Banks today, this thing's over.
Yeah.
It's all over. It's like, you have to guard his foot like David Duchovny guarded his hand in Zoolander.
Yeah. Can we put $1 million insurance thingy on his foot?
Exactly. So, if he breaks his foot again, we get 3 future first rounders.
That'd
Didn't
be
somebody
great.
do that to their anus?
Yeah, that Spanish matador.
Yeah. He's collecting.
You're, I think you're talking about...
He's collecting horn.
Yeah, he is. I think you're talking about a former Howard Stern guest, I think, did that. I think it was one of the ladies that he used to have on all the time did that.
Jeez.
Really?
Yeah. The one that was in that 500 video.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you've seen that.
Tipper Gore?
Yep, correct. Yeah, well said.
God, I did not have a reference to former Vice President Al Gore's wife, Tipper Gore, on our bingo card today. And she's been mentioned, I believe I had Baker's dozen times already, and it's 6:20 in the morning.
Who just happens to be in town for the Wolves game.
Yeah, oh, she is?
She can't believe it.
Tipper can't get enough of Nas Reed.
She's sitting in Rosie's seat.
Yep.
Well, he's in Tuscany.
Yeah, he sure is.
Unless he's gone somewhere else, but I haven't seen him say arrivederci to Tuscany yet, so my guess is he's still there.
What a dork.
Yeah.
I love him so much.
Yeah.
I do. He's the best in the world.
But he's such a cartoon.
So Common every year does the mocking the mock draft, right? Where they have 32 rubes call in and make sarcastic picks, right? And it's just always inside jokes.
Yeah.
I don't know what number it was, but somebody in the 20s called in and said he was so close to drafting Chef Giancarlo.
Yeah, that's who if I had called in, that's exactly who I would have taken.
That would have been my
your favorite. I've never heard that they do that. But that's brilliant. That must be your favorite.
That would have been my first pick as well. I think, a couple of people took Mark Rosen himself. The great one, Mark Rosen. But Chef Giancarlo almost was a late first-round pick.
That's great.
I mean, the guy's, theoretically made the greatest meal Rosen's ever had.
Did you hear that guy retired after it was over? Because he's like, I guess I've done it.
Yeah.
Can't top this.
Good luck getting into Spoon and Stable again, Rosie.
Tall dork from America loves my food.
Tall dork from America.
Chef Giancarlo gets told by Rosie to his face, this is the greatest meal I've ever had. I'm going to post this picture on Twitter. And Chef Giancarlo goes to Twitter and he goes, wow, the guy was telling the truth. He just said, this is the greatest meal I've ever had. Man, I'm so proud of myself. And he sat there for 24 hours. And then the next day when Rosie got to Tuscany, and he's like, no, this is the greatest meal I've ever had. Giancarlo's like, son of a bitch!
You lied to me.
I'd rather get gored anally.
Yeah. Wow, your mic's on.
Enough of this cooking. I'm going back to Matadorin. Is that how you say it? Mr. Z for a couple of seconds when we come back because he's got a movie he wants to talk about. Then we'll do what really matters after this. This is the Power Trip Morning Show on the Fan.
The Fan.
Head north with the Power Trip at Grandview Lodge next week, April 30th and May 1st. Join us Thursday night for fun and prizes. Then tune in
Friday morning for the live broadcast and initials game.
Book your stay at KFAN.com, keyword Grandview.
Yeah, man. We got a brand new Viking. We'll go to talking movies in a moment, but quickly, his name's Caleb Banks. He's a huge dude, a big old nose guard defensive tackle. He talks about that foot injury everybody's worried about.
Just taking it one day at a time, you know what I mean? I'm getting better, getting healthy, so I can go out there and perform when that time comes. So I'm feeling good, feeling great. Just got a CT scan. CT went well. So everything's going forward. Good going forward.
Well, let's hope that's the right answer. Paul, your hands up.
Hawk, before we get to Mr. Z, will you start this song over, please?
Are you about to do some acting?
Yeah. All right. Let's see here.
It was always a surprise.
We'll thank.
It was like working with 60-Second Dan or whatever his name was.
10-second Tom.
Yeah. All right, everybody. We'll thank all the police officers today.
One of us.
One of us.
Damn thing's frozen. Ain't got any iced tea.
So good.
Sauce, what does Caleb do with his money?
He puts it in the bank.
What does Caleb do with his money?
Gives it to Mr. Z. Goes to movies.
Caleb
One
Banks.
of us.
Caleb Banks. Mr. Z joins us every Friday to talk about films. And this week, Mr. Z
is dead.
Hung up on me.
Yep.
Call back.
He was laughing at the True Superstar bit.
Yeah.
One of
I thought
us.
the show was over.
Gone too soon. It's one of Gergie's favorite bits.
Everything's frozen.
Oh, yeah. Gergie did it the other day while doing Fan 5. He just goes, one of us.
One of us is the best.
Everything's frozen.
One of us.
One of us.
Hi, Mr. Z.
One of us.
Hello.
I'm here.
There we go.
You're what?
There we go. Now we got him. All right, Mr. Z. This week in films, it's one of your favorite things is the gap on Rotten Tomatoes between the critics and the audience score because the Michael Jackson movie, Michael, which I believe was named by Diana Rossini, 40% on Rotten Tomatoes, 96% audience score. So the critics think it's terrible. So far, the fans think it's pretty good. Your thoughts?
Yeah, well, and it's so predictable because I don't remember if I talked a little bit about it, but I went to see Michael. I was nervous I wasn't going to like it, and it was charming and it was entertaining, and it's true it's not super deep or groundbreaking, which is kind of the main thing the critics don't like about it. But I was entertained, and when we get to the point where he's writing Billie Jean, and you forget you're like, if you're a big fan of pop culture, it's almost hard to remember that somebody wrote Billie Jean, somebody wrote Thriller, and came up with the video, and it's just fun. It's fun to watch somebody create something. It's predictable because two reasons. One is, if you really read a lot of the negative reviews, they say, hey, there's nothing new in here. It's a bit treacly, but it's entertaining. And that's rotten. Of course, Rotten Tomatoes, that's a big slam. If it's a C+, that's not rotten. Where in the old days, Ebert, who is the king, would have said exactly the same thing. He just said, hey, there's nothing new here, but dang it, I was charmed and I enjoyed myself. But that would be a negative. So, Rotten Tomatoes, it was at 18% at one point, and I was shaking my head because the reviewer should have the skill to say, hey, it wasn't for me, but I watched it and I get it. I get there's going to be people who like it. Not me. They don't have that skill.
How was the actual?
But anyway,
how was the performance of the guy that plays Michael? Was he
is it true it's Mel Gibson?
What? Do you have any audio?
Yep. Here he just finished filming Thriller.
Wow.
Oh man, he was pumped. Again, nothing new here.
No.
Yeah, Yeah, he was good. The dad, I forgot his name. The guy who plays Joe Jackson, really good.
Is that Coleman Domingo?
What a jerk!
I know.
Yeah. He was
I know
great.
he's in it. I didn't know who he played.
Yep. You get it. He just a bad dude, and so if you want to go out and Hollywood is starting to learn that. You watch news all week and you're hearing whatever, everything's negative and work is hard and everything's hard, and you go out on a Saturday or whatever. Maybe we don't want to watch more depressing. Maybe once in a while we just want to go out and have some popcorn and enjoy it. And so that's why that's why it's at 96% from the people, because that's what people kind of like sometimes, is just to be entertained for a couple hours.
May I ask? I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't want it to be a spoiler, but can you tell me at what point in his life does the movie end?
It's pretty clear that there's another part coming.
Because
and I don't think it's a spoiler or anything, so I'm just going to say, if you don't want to hear, but it's shortly after the Pepsi incident with the hair.
All right, there you go.
Is where we're going, and so that's where we're going. And so it's pretty clear that there's going to be another part, which is probably going to end up being a little darker. Whereas it's fun to watch them recreate the Jackson 5 and going to the Apollo, and Michael, you forget his voice when he was 5 like that, singing, ABC or whatever. You're like, these guys were really good. It was entertaining, but no, nothing new under the sun.
Okay, got it.
All right, is this supposed to do well?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be big.
It depends. Big is, and I know I throw a lot of dollars up there, and sometimes people. The reason I use box office dollars, that kind of reflects what the average people. We're looking at $70 to $80 million opening weekend, and for a biopic, that's pretty good. That's better than the Queen movie or the Elvis movie or whatever. So. People have been waiting a long time. Not everybody, but there's a large group of people who've been waiting a long time to kind of celebrate once we get past kind of the documentaries and all that stuff, to just remember. So that's a very good number for that movie. If it can do 70, it did $12 million on yesterday for opening previews. That's a lot.
It's interesting because people always poo-poo the idea that $70 million, whether or not it's a good movie or not. What's a bigger determining factor of whether or not there's another edition of the movie made than how much money it made it to the box office? That's really the only number that matters.
Yeah, it is. And those numbers, it's true. And it's true also that the numbers are different. You say, well, in 1970 tickets got this. So I don't necessarily use it to compare movies across time and era, but it just kind of shows that how many people want to see the movie, rather than whether it's a good movie or not. And again, when I say good, we have to define good, because the critics are defining good by lighting and directing and writing and groundbreaking culture. And people usually define good whether they enjoyed it or not. So we're almost having two different arguments about whether it was quote unquote good.
All right.
So box office is a good way to show that you can make a great movie, but if nobody wants to see it, who cares?
All right. Nothing else coming out this weekend, essentially, except for Michael. Is that right? Give or take?
Yep. Pretty quiet. Yep. Till Devil Wears Prada 2 is the next quote unquote big movie after that. So
Josh and I are going.
You can't wait.
All right. Appreciate it, Mr. Z. Thanks, man.
You bet. Thanks later. Bye.
It's
Mr.
weird.
Z.
He mentions Devil Wears Prada because did you know Meryl Streep was initially cast to play Michael Jackson?
Oh, really?
Yeah, she can do anything.
But she didn't want to do back-to-back movies?
She was afraid of the part 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gets problematic.
One of us.
Yeah, the sex scene with Bubbles was not going to be pretty.
What?
I'm glad you said Bubbles.
Wait, that's in the second one?
Yeah.
Mr. Z said it gets dark. Mr. Z said via text yesterday to me, I believe it's May, I think it's next month, 20 years he will have been on the power trip.
Is that right? That's crazy.
Yeah, isn't that nuts?
Yeah, that is weird. I don't even. I think we might have met him down at Block E. Does that sound right? I can't remember how we met him.
Was he your Block E connection?
No, I think he just emailed you.
That might have been, yeah.
I think it was years before we actually met him.
Yeah, I'm sure you're probably right.
I think he just called in for the first handful of years. I don't remember the first time I actually met him.
He couldn't say who he is because his job, he would get in trouble for saying, so we had to call him Mr. Z.
I love Mr. Z, yeah.
He's a good dude, man.
He's a super nice guy.
Great kisser.
Oh, really?
What Really Matters is brought to you by Ovo LASIK and Lens. Go get LASIK from Dr. Mark Lovenoff and Dr. David Whiting. OvoEye.com. Get LASIK from Ovo LASIK and Lens.
Yeah, man.
Let's see. We talked Wolves. We talked Vikes. We'll do that again in the next segment.
Wolves?
Yeah. Game 4 of the Stars in the Wild is tomorrow at 4:30 in St. Paul. The Stars lead that series 2-1. So you have both teams playing tomorrow night. The Wild and Stars at 4:30, and then the Wolves and Nuggets at 7:30. So unless the game goes to overtime or double overtime, won't be an overlap.
No, good point.
Right, there we go.
Are you going to both?
Going to both.
No.
It's available to everybody. Papa?
I'm going to neither.
You should have seen the text exchange Sauce and I had last night.
Yeah, you were devastated.
Well,
Shh.
Papa,
I said,
Papa,
we never had this conversation.
Papa, can you hear me?
But what really matters is this.
Yeah, you're right about that, buddy. Do you know that our newest draft pick, Caleb Banks, is he's now a professional football player. He's a total of 3 months older than Abigail.
Right.
That's crazy. He's 23 years old, man.
Do you remember when we had Jared Allen on that one time in Sauce? We realized that like Jared Allen and Sauce were essentially the same age. And
we're like days apart.
Yeah. And Hawk, I believe you famously said, wow, Sauce has done nothing with his life.
Yeah, zero.
Right? Because comparing the two of them, but think about this. You just said Caleb Banks and your daughter are about the same age.
Yeah.
She has 0 career tackle for losses.
None.
0, yeah.
0.
But I'll tell you that, much better feet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, how many times has she shattered her foot?
None.
0.
Yeah, 0.
I haven't talked to her today, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
Caleb Banks.
Yeah. 23 years old. Went to Louisville for 2 years, then went to Florida. Grew up in Michigan.
He's one of us then.
Yeah.
On social media yesterday, he was saying that Canes catered his draft party.
Is that right?
Yep. I believe my wife thinks I paid for it or that I got it for him for free.
Man, like, I think a lot of the guys in the first round had, like, Canes hats on. Did you provide all that?
Well, no, but think about that. Now their wives believe, we get Canes for free for life. So now Caleb Banks and I are basically the same person, although I've never broken my foot.
It's almost graduation party season.
Oh, I know. The checkbook's out. It's,
you know what pisses
time to
me
go.
off, dude? You know what pisses me off? Mel Kiper was pissed because he heard Canes was at Banks's at his party, and he's like, of course he's got a cane. He breaks his feet all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, would you please, Mel, go home?
Yeah, Mel
take a deep
savaged
breath?
that pick.
I love Mel.
I love Mel Kiper.
Jr.
Yeah, Mel Kiper should be in the NFL
You've got
Hall of
Mel.
Fame. The NFL draft isn't what it is without it.
You're right about
When
that.
he first had all that information, they laughed at him and were like, no one would ever care about all this information.
Yep.
Here's what he wrote.
About Caleb Banks?
Yeah. Big time reach for me. Banks was number 62 on my board, the biggest stretch of the night. Sure, there's a reason to believe this could work out for the Vikings, but Banks can stop running backs in their tracks. He gets enough interior push to be a factor in the pass rush. He moves well for 6'6", 327 pounds. But he's been dealing with a foot injury for a while, and he had surgery at the combine. A lot of risk here, even if Banks is healthy and is at his... A lot of risk here. Even if Banks' health... Even if Banks' healthy...
Yeah, sorry, reading's not easy.
No, it isn't for me.
What is this, your Twitter? 9 hours ago, you tweeted, if Caleb Banks is healthy, he's an all-pro talent. If he isn't, that's a massive reach. No joke, he may have been there at 49.
Yeah.
I was wrong about that. He would not have been there at 49.
You know what I've always thought about, and I have always thought this, and you guys tell me if you think I'm wrong. Like Mel Kiper, I agree with you. Like what he did for the draft, it's exciting, it's fun. But if he was really good at his job, wouldn't some NFL team pay him billions of dollars to come in and lead their draft room?
That is a good question. Yep, I think you are correct.
Because I don't think he probably makes a lot of money doing 1 day a year, right?
Oh, I bet he makes a ton of money.
Not compared to what they would pay him to work for an NFL team, do you think?
But I think at some point in his life, ESPN Plus, it's now, or whatever it was before ESPN Insider, was basically something you had to pay, you paid for so you could get all of his mock drafts.
Right.
And I would bet he got a little bit of piece of that. Good. I mean, I bet he's made millions of dollars in his life.
Good.
Millions.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, more of what really matters when we come back. Marnie should be here in about 30 or 40 minutes. We'll play initials at 8:15. Daniel and Taylor from Love is Blind Season 8 will be here. And I guess Daniel's a big fan of this show. So maybe he has hot sports takes. Maybe he is a
Taylor's a big fan too. Maybe she's a big fan.
And we might have a guest phone call about
boy.
7:50.
Can't wait.
Who is it?
No one is more excited about Taylor and Daniel being on the show today than Tommy Olson.
Yeah, he loves
is
it.
Oh, that's
so
so great.
bummed
Yeah.
that he can't be here, but he wants to call in literally just to say hi to him because he can't believe they're on the show.
Yep.
And I cannot wait for, even if it's a 2-minute phone call, to see what Tommy whips up.
Whoa.
That's maybe a poor choice of words, knowing what he normally whips up. More of What Really Matters after this on The Fan.
In my world, you're my weather.
Nice job, buddy.
On the Fan.
God, that was hot nonsense.
KFAN welcomes some great shows to Mystic Lake Amphitheater. The legendary Bob Dylan will be there July 6th. Motley Crue on August 21st. Santana and the Doobie Brothers on August 27th. All the details on all of our upcoming shows on the concert page at KFAN.com. Keyword calendar.
Oh, that lady fell.
She's excited for the calendar, the concert calendar.
We welcome them.
Yeah. KO is very excited about going to Banks.
We use the extent of the process that we can. We feel very strongly about not only Caleb, but how we've evaluated all the prospects in the draft from a medical standpoint. It is important that we expect Caleb to have a big time impact in 2026 and beyond, and we wanted to feel good about that.
Yeah, well,
let's go.
Yeah.
Time will tell.
I think you got to trust him in this sense because they didn't wing that. They weren't like, oh, that guy has feet problem. We'll take him, right? They put a lot of effort into him. I think Alec Lewis's article on theathletic.com is an outstanding breakdown of how they got to this, to how they got to picking Caleb Banks and how they've done a lot of due diligence on him. They sent their defensive line coach down there to meet with him, so they aren't winging this.
It didn't matter if they took Dylan Thieneman or Makai Lemon
or Dusty Mon
or Caleb Banks, right? This is an inexact science.
Jack Lemon.
And they can do all the due diligence in the world, right? If he was 100% healthy and never had a foot problem, they could still be wrong. If he has a history of foot problems like he does, and they still do everything medically to make sure that it looks like he's going to heal up and he's going to be fine, they still might be wrong.
Yeah.
Right? Or they could be right. It's almost like we don't know yet.
Yeah, it's like we don't know. Correct.
But I would say this. Mark this down. Friday, April 24th, 2026 at 6:51 in the morning. My name's Corey. You heard it here first. I think there's a really good chance that Caleb Banks is healthy and has an unbelievable career with the Vikings. But I wouldn't be surprised if the injuries limit his career arc. So just remember that I said that.
When
I'm right.
What time?
What time did I say it, or what time do you want me to?
What time did you say it?
Like 6:51.
Incredible.
Wow. You got it covered, man.
I just want people to remember that I say things. It's all I have in this life. Seemingly.
I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't think of this until I got an email from a listener right now. Could you go back to Corey on the camera, please? On KFAN.com.
Oh, no.
I'm going to be self-conscious about something for the rest of my life now.
No, it's not you.
Oh.
The iHeart logo behind you looks like a butthole with butt cheeks. I mean, it just does.
Yeah,
it looks like a butthole and a big slab, set of slabs, and maybe a little ding-dong there, too.
Yeah.
It looks like a sexual thing going on behind you on the screens.
You don't ever need to take a Rorschach test. I think you just passed.
Yeah, I think we know
what
from, your issue
Welcome
is.
Back, Cotter?
Sure. Let's do more of What Really Matters, scores and stats around the world of sports. And in between, they're up to date.
I got to get some references.
Watch
That's brilliant,
new things. What really matters.
Yeah.
Okay, look. If you were listening a segment ago when we were talking to Mr. Z, and we were talking about the movie Michael, and I said, Diana Rossini must have named this movie.
I didn't get it.
And you were like, I don't get that joke. Man, this thing continues to spiral out of control. Just when you thought, all right, there's like the owners' meetings and stuff, and there's people in Arizona. Maybe Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel are telling the truth. It was a whole bunch of people hanging out. Maybe those photos are just putting them in a bad light. Well, now every photo that's come out since makes it look worse and worse and worse. And of course, she's like, I'm resigning. I don't need to deal with an investigation. And he's like, I need help. I'm going to counseling.
Yeah.
The big bombshell yesterday is there are photos from 2020 of them looking very cozy together in a bar in March 11th of 2020 at a New York City bar.
It was 3/11 day.
It was 3/11
Well,
day.
they were celebrating.
All of us should have been celebrating 3/11 day 2020.
Yeah.
I probably was, not with an NFL reporter, but I'm not an NFL coach. However, everybody on social media pointed out the timeline is terrifying because if they have been hooking up for 6+ years, she has a son born after that named Michael. And I believe there was a post or a tweet like after her son was born, something about wanting to name it after, who knows, not after Vrabel, but just like, so people are going, can you imagine, what if this kid was truly named after Mike Vrabel? And also, Diana Rossini's husband looks a little bit like Mike Vrabel, which means the kid does. So now everybody's like, please, Maury Povich, would you get some DNA samples from both? Can we prove that this might be Mike Vrabel's kid? And she literally named him after the dad. Yeah. This is nuts.
Nuts. Insane.
Well, can you imagine if Diana Rossini's oldest son was named Vrabel Rossini?
Yeah. That would be insane.
Hi.
Yeah, that's
Rossini's husband.
Yep.
Oh, man. The kid's name is Michael, as in Mike Vrabel.
Yep. Here's Diana Rossini's husband. After finding out that news story broke.
This is not my day. Oh, poor
no, let's say 0% of that is accurate in terms of the naming the kid after Mike Vrabel, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's say they get pregnant and Rossini's husband's like, hey, my grandfather's name was Michael. The name Michael means a lot to me. What if we name the first kid Michael? What if Diana's like, this sucks. I'm sleeping with a guy named Michael. I'm always going to, connect the two that I was sleeping with Michael, even though you named it after your
What?
You just got to go, is there any other family member we can name this kid after?
Do you have a Don or a Pete?
Did you have a childhood dog that you liked? Can we name him Scrappy?
Yeah, can we
Rossini?
name him Muppet? Yeah.
Right.
Oh, no. Do you know the kid's full name is Michael Childress Sabin?
No.
He's got 3 first names.
Wow. Brad?
There were people saying that, yeah, sure, her firstborn son is Michael Rossini. The second one is Sean McVay Rossini. Because I believe there's some Sean McVay rumors from Washington as well with her. We got to check out all of her kids' names at this point. She's having a couple of terrible weeks.
I got to name a joke
Terrible
I want to
weeks.
say, but I'm afraid it's too far. I'm gonna
just tell us.
Can I tell you?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I wouldn't say that one.
Right on, right?
No,
I wouldn't say that. No, your mic's on.
There's a lot of other
My name is Mike Zahn.
safer
Daddy?
jokes.
Papa!
Yeah. Okay, all right, hang on. I screwed that up.
Peter.
I screwed that up. Almost everything I just said is wrong because apparently her first son is not named Michael, according to people texting in. It's Rosen Rossini.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's
Which
not
sounds
Michael.
delicious.
Yeah.
It's the best meal I've ever had.
Best meal I've ever had. Thank you, Chef. What was it, Giancarlo?
How did everybody yesterday during mocking the mock draft not just take him every
32
time?
selections
32
of
times.
Chef Giancarlo.
So good.
Okay. What really matters, though, is this.
We have a listener down in the studio, or down waiting to come in. All right, cool. We'll be right down to get you, buddy. It's my turn, you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I was dealing with the microphone being on and me getting fired. Did you know that the average piggy has 16% body fat, which is much leaner than most people?
So pigs are ripped?
They compared to humans.
Damn.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So is the bacon the ripped part or the fatty part?
I bet it's the ripped part. I don't think bacon ain't fat. Well, there's some fat on bacon.
Whatever it is, I don't care. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Bacon's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah. Bacon is good.
God, we got good takes.
Yeah, we do. I love bacon.
Those are hot bacon takes. You know?
Bacon.
We both approved of the concept of bacon.
But you eat microwave bacon.
I eat all kinds of bacon, but the most consistent bacon I eat is the stuff from Costco.
Which is microwave bacon.
Who cares?
Remember that dog
I
that
ain't
loved
got time
that
for
bacon
that.
on that commercial? That's all he wanted in the whole wide world was bacon.
Yep.
They were giving him bacon strips, and he's like, "Eat me.
You're my
Give me
son.
some real bacon."
Eat me.
That's what he said.
Hey, Sauce.
Yes, sir.
I know we had a draft last night. The Wolves won last night. A lot of cool things going on.
Are we spinning the wheel of top?
Nope, this is baseball trivia just for you because Chris has no chance, and honestly, Zach has no chance, and I would have had no chance. But you have a 10% chance. Unless you read it. If you read this, you have a 100%
Does
chance.
Mike Rossini have a chance?
Yeah. Does Bill Belichick Rossini have a chance?
The Brewers, I guess, faced Tarek Skubal yesterday.
Yeah.
They are scheduled to...
Isn't it Tarek?
I don't know how to say it. Isn't it Tarek Skubal? Oh, you can say it either way?
Oh, no. His real first name is Shelton.
What?
Shelton Rossini.
Oh,
jeez. We just can't catch a break around here.
Jacques Lemaire Rossini. All these kids?
There's no doubt it's his kid.
Yeah. He's 105.
Yep. Somebody moved the puck through the zone, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah. Maybe once.
Anyway, sorry.
The Brewers are going to make semi-history.
He does like the press box.
He does.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I see what you did there. They are taking on the Pirates tonight. Sauce?
Yes.
The Brewers would be just the second team ever to do what in consecutive games?
Because of who they're playing.
Yeah, that's a huge hint.
Would it be is it a Cy Young bit?
Mm-hmm.
They'd be the first team that would play the Cy Young winners of each league back to back.
Just the second team ever to face the reigning Cy Young Award winners in consecutive games.
Wow.
No, when you think about it, right? Because interleague play goes back to the, 90s? Is that when we started interleague play?
I mean, they stopped it for a while, though. They didn't always do it.
But let's just say 30 years of interleague play, give or take, right?
Yeah.
You have to have the two reigning Cy Young Award winners. Those teams have to play you back-to-back series. And you have to have one end the series and the next one start the next series.
Yeah.
So I guess this is just a scheduling stat. The crazy thing is it happened last year. It was the first time it's ever happened. Boston faced Skubal and Chris Sale in back-to-back games. And now it's going to happen this year, too.
Wow.
Like I said, worthless baseball stat, but baseball people like stats.
You weren't kidding. Interleague play in Major League Baseball began June 12th, 97. According to Google.
30.
That might be wrong, but...
That sounds right.
Yeah.
The news is next. Marnie Gellner in like 20 minutes. Power Trip Morning Show fan.
I've seen roads sweat from a summer